So a net gain of 1 there.
6-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Off the play fake, Anthony. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately. I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Throwing on 3rd and long. Anthony, and the pressure gets to him again. Finding his way home for the sack that time, Taven Bryant.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
10-10 at their own 38-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jones. That's going to be caught by Judy. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. He's already topped his receiving output from a week ago, and we're just in the first quarter as that's a first down. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now Jones on 3rd and 2. And Ingram hauls it in. And he will have a Giants first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2. First down Giants, Jones to Ingram. Back to throw. Jones going for it all. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Jerry Jeudy, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants add on to their lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8-ball.
You got to make sure to just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And this carries into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And this is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now it's Carson. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. This is Carson. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line.
He's tackled at the...
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
His throw incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Yards to go.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Operating from the gun, Anthony. He may try it, and it's a fumble. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And he's got some space here. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Giants touchdown. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. An incomplete, crisis averted, almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
And he's missed now his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Anthony. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, picked off at the 38. And they will finally get him, but until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
And he finds Penny. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll make it second down.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call a position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion. And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Looking to throw. Jones. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Now Kaimi Fairbairn for the field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And the route is on. It's 24-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
At their own 24-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Off play action. Anthony. Looking deep downfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and they will take over at the 29-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
At the 30-yard line.
On 2nd and 9, Jones, he's going to float this one deep right side. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
First and 10.
It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. On second down, it's Carson, and they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. The gun, Anthony. And that will be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's fourth down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in it, and let him fling another one.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Good running from Barkley there on first down as he'll get forward for about 6 yards.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them? And do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Mike 27, Mike 27, Mike 27. And let's pin
Jones fakes the give to Barkley. They'll roll him out right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete.
Thrown away.
Now that'll bring up second down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds, because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Ito Smith, his first carry. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to give it to a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
They need to get this to the 24 on third down. Operating from the gun, Jones. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. We haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
16-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. From the gun, Anthony. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more.
18-yard line.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Operating from the gun, Jones. His throw caught right around the 6. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Back to throw. Jones. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 7-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of it.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Mike Hughes. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. Takes it at the 7. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
1st and 10. At their own 28-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. Now Saquon Barkley, and he stopped immediately there.
Saquon Barkley.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Right at the line.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end.
Jones.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down.
Brings up fourth down and less than a yard.
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. Looking to throw. Jones. Got a man. It's Judy complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. How about them biting off 15 yards there on the 4th down attempt and keeping the drive alive? So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. On the run, it's Barkley. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the Seahawks 30-yard line.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jones. Catch made by Slayton. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
Here's Jones from the gun on 3rd down. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Trey Flowers picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards. Now look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
On 1st down, Anthony. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. From the gun, Anthony. Flushed out right. And he's going to go down again. Lorenzo Carter able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Third quarter from MetLife Stadium. Here's a 2nd and 10.
56 is Mike. 56 is Mike. Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
To throw again. Jones. Out to the right here to Shepard. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good. Soft in spots. And there's an easy throw and catch for another first down.
Jones on first down. Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
And his throw here's incomplete.
Intended for Darius Slayton. Incomplete. Shaquille Griffin there defensively.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54.
Jones now throwing on 3rd and long. That's complete to Slayton. And he will be taken down, but a big pickup there on what's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
Hawks, nothing.
The mud, out the dirt, above the waters, in the mercy, out the gate, on site, red tight, set the bar, take flight. Yeah, I've been grinding since a youngin', they told me my timing was coming. I've been hustling with no fun and forget all the fame, get the money, I'm out in LA where it's sunny. I've been eating since a youngin', since we ain't have food in our tummy, the life we was living.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
You must be getting tired of seeing me.
Operating from the gun, Jones out quickly to Judy. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. It's Barkley on the counter. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. On the counter, it's Smith. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Slam, slam, slam. Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup there. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Brings up 3rd and less than a yard.
Off the play fake. Jones. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Jerry Jeudy with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
Giants 37, Seahawks nothing. Kaimi Fairbairn set to kick off.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21.
21-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. The Seahawks on 3rd down, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. A quick toss outright, and down he'll go at the 25. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
3 plays and out. It's 4th down.
On 4th down, Anthony. Forced out to his left. He lets it fly for Lockett. And now here is another interception. Picked by Julian Love. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The ball carrier, Shaquille Griffin on the tackle. A gain of a yard brings up 3rd and 5.
The Giants on 3rd down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5.
Right there, 54.
From the gun, Jones. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in.
A first down carry for Smith. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
I got you. I got you. Kill.
On 2nd down now, Barkley. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
It's our time. Switch. Back. 6 guys. Check 6 guys.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Bad time to get a delay of game penalty there. Not that there's a good time, but that makes it 3rd and 6. A give to Smith out of the gun. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Giants, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, things are kind of getting ugly as they drop to 1-7 now on the year. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Green Bay Packers. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess